What's up, Epic 7? TristenWulf here with May's Guide to Expeditions. I'm going to show you my favorite teams, go over some options, and help you come up with a way to slam through the expeditions. Now, I'll remind you once again, expeditions are kind of endgame content. As long as you can contribute and do a little bit of damage, then that's all you really need. The rest of the people should be able to pick up your slack. I just want to show you how to get the highest score you can, because the more you can do on your own, the less you have to rely on others. Let's jump right in. This week, the rotations are Pursuer Moroi, which used to be one of the hardest ones to do, Hopeless Simacus, the Ice Expedition, and Destructive Gigantis, who in my opinion is the hardest one to do now. Let's start out with Pursuer Moroi. So the Pursuer is a little bit of a tricky expedition. There's not a lot of options for alternate units to run this, but I'll go over a few where I can. First, we're going to run Brieg. You can replace him with Fire Cecilia, but why would you? Brieg is made for this, and he's free. So you want to gear up your Brieg. This stat line is important for Dark Expedition. For Light and Ice Expeditions, it doesn't really matter that much how you gear him. But for Dark Expedition, you're going to want to shoot for this stat line. So as much health as you can get, and right around 170 to 180 speed. That's kind of the magic range. I've got him on the Sword of Azera artifact. Now, where you find this artifact is if you go over to the Hall of Trials shop and you look at the exchange where you would normally buy your exclusive equipments, but instead of the exclusive, look at the third tab. There should be a third tab that says miscellaneous or other. Under there, you will find Xeno and a slew of Hall of Trials artifacts. That's where you can find Sword of Azera. Now, if you don't want to spend the currency on this, that's fine. You can run him on several things. I just like Sword of Azera because it makes him super extra bulky, and that helps a lot with Destructive Gigantis. Without this, you'll probably need to run a little bit more bulk on your Brieg. Other than that, I just ran him fast enough to take turns. I didn't really care about his crit chance that much. If he misses a crit, he misses a crit. He's not the big damage dealer for my team. If you want to get him to 100% crit, more power to you, but this is how I built him. You want to have at least 35% effectiveness. That plus his 50% from perception gives you the 85% you need to stick debuffs. 35 effectiveness is not hard to get on this guy. You're going to have defense break on the Moroi through the majority of the fight, so pen set is really just kind of icing on the cake. Next, we're going to run Cerise. The alternatives to Cerise are you can run Green Aceria, but you're going to need to put a lot of damage on her, which is a weird way to build Aceria, but she will need to be able to do good damage to self-heal. You might even need to put Bloodstone on her to help her self-heal when things get really, really bad, or Proof of Valor to help keep her alive, because Green Aceria doesn't do a lot of damage, and doing damage through the vampirism is the only way to self-heal in this fight. Another alternative is Wanderer Silk. Again, you'll want to put some damage on her, but Wanderer Silk is really, really good in this as well. So those are your two options, but Cerise is still best in slot. Hopefully you've picked her up at some point in time while chasing Guiding Lights. On Cerise, I'm running Song of Stars. It is her best in slot artifact for this because it's just additional damage. And I ran her at a decent speed. Don't worry about going nuts on the speed. You do want 100% crit chance and a little bit of crit damage if you can pull it off. Again, just because damage is how you heal yourself, but Cerise weathers the storm better than Aceria or Wanderer Silk because she has one round where she's got a gold shield up and immortality shield up, allowing her to heal while not taking damage. The third unit on the team, and there is few and far between replacements. Everybody always asks me, what's her replacement for Zealot Carmen Rose? Just do her specialty change, guys. It's an easy specialty change, and she is so good in this. Let me tell you why she's good in this. You need to have buff block on the boss and a strip its defense buff. Well, look at that, buff block and a strip while it boosts your own attack. It's nice to slow the boss. Well, she's got a slow and also speeds herself up. And you can only heal yourself. Well, her S1 skill's got built-in vampirism, so not only are you attacking into vampiric touch, you're doing it with a skill that self-heals, so she really, really heals herself. On top of it, she is a mage, so you can slap Caladra on her and get significantly more damage. She actually hits harder than my Sirmia in many situations. So just go pick up your Zealot Carmen Rose and stop asking me for replacements. Now I know how Sue feels. Just do it. Just get your Zealot Carmen Rose. She is worth it. Again, pen set is optional. Rage set is optional. You could run speed. You could run destruction. You could run attack set. Whatever you got, just stack a good chunk of damage on her. Make sure she's on speed boots. You want her to have a little bit of speed. You don't want her to run so slow she never takes attacks. Part of the magic of this is making sure you cycle your skills. Don't go all damage. It's better to take 3 turns at mid damage than 1 turn at insane damage. Not just for survivability, but also for damage per minute. You are on a timer on this thing. And my main DPS is going to be Fire Sirmia. There are a few options you can run in place of Sirmia. Just look at any nukers you've got that have the ability to self-buff themselves. If they can self-buff themselves, they're good for this. Sirmia is great because her self-buff is greater attack buff. If you've got the exclusive equipment Lucky Dice, that gives you a 25% chance to make her S1 hit twice. That's best in slot for her for this fight. It's just extra free damage. Again, destruction set, attack set, speed set, whatever you've got to maximize her damage. Rage set, I think, is ideal because due to Brieg being on the team, you are constantly going to have debuffs on the boss. As for an artifact, I'm running her on the Strawberry Cake just for extra damage. You could run her on Border Coin, Exorcist Tonfa, Symbol of Unity, anything to help boost her damage. Remember, Daydream Joker does not work in any expedition, so don't use Daydream Joker. Okay, let's jump in the fight and see how it works. Let's run full auto. Everybody's skills are on. At the start of the fight, Cerise is going to use her S3 skill. This is going to activate the defense buff. See the defense buff right there? That's why you got Zealot Carmen Rose right behind. She will strip the defense buff and replace it. Well, she should replace it with a buff block, but hey, 15% is a thing, I guess. Brieg's going to roll in and drop his defense break. Nice, we got that. Little unfortunate here. Sirmia is going to bring the defense buff back, so now we got to chew through that. We got one more chance at a buff block off of Cerise. We got the buff block, but we're still suffering with that defense buff, and that is going to slow down our damage quite a bit. So we're kind of off to a crappy start, but that's the way 15% works. It's okay. We will still get through this. Okay, we've gotten rid of the defense buff by letting the Pain Pursuer take a turn, and the buff block is keeping it from coming back. Brieg's going to re-up his defense break here. Nice, good job, Brieg. Cerise S3s. This puts the slow debuff back on the Moroi. The slow debuff is so huge in getting really high scores in this. Sirmia attacks her EE proc, so she got that extra attack I was talking about. And we re-up the buff block to 2 turns as well as the target debuff. Sirmia got another double hit with her EE. That's great. The Caladra on Zealot Carmen Rose hitting like a truck. We're already at 500k, 600k, 660, 697. Sirmia does her S3, drops in the big damage. 700k damage. Now we're a little bit behind, right? At this point in the game, we usually like to be at about 900k damage, but that defense buff slowed us down. This time we stick the defense break. Brieg comes in for his extra attack, giving us another defense break. Nice. And the slow debuff. Excellent. Brieg spamming the shields on himself, keeping him alive. You'll notice how hurt our Cerise is, but the gold shield helps keep her alive because it lets her do 2 attacks. Sirmia hits. We're at 900k damage. Now we're over 1 million damage. Our goal is 1.8 million for a full clear. Brieg maintaining the defense breaks, the slow debuffs, the target debuffs. Sirmia just rocking it with that EE. She got another one off. That's great. That's definitely helps make up for the fact that we spent the entire first half of the fight with a defense buff up on the Moroi. 1.2 million. Brieg goes in for his S3 attack. Brieg does significant damage on this, so it's good to have a little bit of damage on Brieg. The Moroi shield is up, but Sirmia activates greater attack buff, dropping in her S3. This should hit like a truck. Shield's already gone. We re-up the buff block. Oh, we didn't stick the buff block, but we extended the target debuff for an extra turn. But you know what? That's okay, because the Morai's about to do his ultimate, and he's going to cleanse all of his buffs anyway, because F you, that's why it's so stupid that this boss cleanses all of its debuffs. You work so hard to get them on there, only to have the boss cleanse them. Another hit. One more hit from Brieg. Here goes the Morai with his big attack, self-cleansing all of his debuffs. So unfortunately, we got the defense break back up, but that's why Zealot Rose is so good. She cycles so fast. There's the strip replaced by buff block. Cerise doing her S3. Gold shield for her so she doesn't take damage. Another slow debuff. Sirmia hits. Brieg hits. Zealot does a big smash. We're now in the last round. We're at 1.7 million. We just need another 100k damage, guys. Brieg barriers up, does his S3. As long as we get a defense break here, I think even if we didn't get a defense break here, we're good. But we got the defense break. Hit, hit, hit. Morai is dead. Sirmia still had a round to go. It's a very clean, consistent fight. Even if you don't full clear, with this team, even with significantly lower gear, you should still be able to pull off 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 million easily. And the goal is just to get it so hurt that your friends go, hey, this thing's almost dead, I'll finish it off. Because nobody likes going in and fighting fights that look like this. Everybody likes going in and fight fights that look like this. And this is about 1.2 million, 1.1 million. So you go in and do a little bit of damage to the fight, and other people will jump in and finish it for you. Now let's move over to the Hopeless Simacus fight, the Ice Expedition. The Hopeless Simacus fight, it's going to be a little crazier, guys. We're going to use Fire Sirmia. That's right. We're taking a fire unit into a ice fight. So once again, we're going to use pretty accessible units. We're going to start off with the exact same Brieg we used in the Light Expedition. Again, the speed, the HP, the crit chance, all of these don't matter that much for this one, but this is the stat line you're going to want for Dark Expedition. As much bulk as you can have and slower than 180 speed. As much speed as you can get without going faster than the boss. You want Brieg to go second for the Dark Expedition. Again, on the Sword of Azera artifact, which you can get from the Hall of Trials shop, the pen set is optional. Little bit of damage, never hurts for Brieg. 35% effectiveness is the stat point you're trying to get for effectiveness to give you the best chance, because he gives himself a 50% bonus to effectiveness. And that gets you the 85% you need to debuff. Tamarin, another free unit. Now, my Tamarin is over-tuned for this. Don't look at the stat line on this Tam and lose your mind. This is my full auto Nightmare Queen Tamarin. You don't need any effectiveness at all for this fight, and you don't need any effect resistance at all for this fight. Just focus on making her fast. You want her to cycle her turns and give her enough bulk to survive. I would not go less bulky than this. I put her on Magahar's Tome to cycle her skills. If you want to give her effectiveness in ER for other fights, that's great, but it's totally not needed for this one. And we're going to use Lilka. She is a 3-star Wulf Suin, and she is so good for this. Now, if you don't have Lilka, you can use Ruzid, or you can use Mercenary Helga. But Lilka owns this fight. She is so good here. I put my backup Song of Stars on her. If you only have one, move it around. If you don't have any, you don't need Song of Stars on her. It just helps move things a little bit quicker. You can put a defense break artifact on her, or you can just put an artifact on her that helps boost other people's damage, or slap Prophetic Candlestick to help cycle her skills even better. Plenty of options. Want her as fast as you can get. I've got her roughly the same speed as Tam. I think anything over 180 speed is fine. Closer to 230 you can get, the better. 85% crit chance, because we are going into an ice unit, so we have elemental advantage at 85%. She's technically 100% because earth into ice gets plus 15 to crit chance. And effectiveness, you want as close to 85% as possible. I'm 4 short. So a little bit of RNG. If I could find a piece of gear to slide a little bit more effectiveness onto, that would be ideal. But you know what? I'm going to be okay with being 4 short of premium effectiveness. The boss has 100 ER, so you want 85 as the maximum to get the best chance to stick your debuffs. And my DPS unit, I'm going to use Fenris. Now, I know a lot of you don't have Fenris, and that's okay. Alternates to Fenris are, you know what? Just go in here and click green and start looking at the green DPSs you have. Galililius works great. Landy works great. Sid works great. Zahak works great. Bellona, not so much. Pavel can work, but be careful, he's a little fragile. Dollmaker Pearl Horizon is a fantastic option. She hits giga freaking hard. Vivian, I'm not so sure she's kind of got the juice to do this, but you could give her a try. But you get where I'm going with this. Just pick a good, solid green DPS. For the longest time, I used the collaboration unit Ram from ReZero, and she worked banging good. But nobody is quite as good at this as Fenris. Fenris is just a DPS machine. That's all you do. Just ignore speed, ignore health, ignore defense, effectiveness, none of that matters. Just stack attack, crit chance, crit damage. Attack, crit chance, crit damage. I put him on a Destro set. Pen set's optional. It's not really that big of a deal. I gave him an artifact that boosts his attack when allies do crits. Can stack up to 4 times. Really lets him hit hard. You can use Strawberry Cake. You can use Symbol of Unity. Any DPS artifact. Just stay away from Daydream Joker, because once again, Daydream Joker does not work in any expedition fight. And that's it. Simple team, guys. Let's see how it goes. Everybody's skills are on. Press auto. Sit back and watch the show. The Simacus will put a debuff right here called Fatigue on the highest attack unit. Whoever is the highest attack unit will get Fatigue. And that's where Loka comes in. Loka CR pushes and gets Fenris almost to the front. And then we just need a little bit more of a push. And that speed buff from Loka right there takes care of the rest. Even though he is fatigued, with speed buff, he inches down the CR bar very slowly, but see, he is moving until he takes a turn, and now he is up and running and doing damage. Loka pushes him to the front again. He does his big attack. Watch this damage into a defense break. That really said 200k damage, ladies and gentlemen. Fenris is so good at this. The attack's going to make Fenris do his extra attack again into a defense break and a target, extra 50k damage. Brieg maintaining the defense breaks with his S3. Now, if you do decide to run Sid in place of Fenris, I do recommend a slower Sid. I know Sid's a speed scaling DPS, but you want your DPS to go slow, because every time you hit the Simacus, it cycles his Demon Cunning, and when that gets to 5, he will automatically counterattack, and that can make your debuffs go away a little faster than you want, make him do a little more damage than you want. So you want to make sure that the DPS from your, or the damage from your DPS really sticks and hits hard, and doesn't hit so many times that, unlike Moroi, where several little hits are better than one big hit, with Simacus, one big hit is better than several little hits. Okay, we have just passed the 900k mark, and we are not even to the halfway point of the fight. You can see the little white A is lit up on his main skill right there beside his ugly mug. That means he is getting ready to hit the halfway point of the fight. And we're already at 1 million damage, 1.1 million damage. He does his attack back. Fenris does one more big smack. I'm sorry, Fenris does 2 more big smacks. This is one of this is where he shines the most, guys. If you got Fenris, this is where you want to use him. Tam transforms, pushing everybody up. Brieg's doing Brieg things. Hit, hit, hit. And there we go. Now Fenris is fatigued again. He's stuck all the way at the back of the CR bar. We get a push up from Lilka, and now he's got a speed buff on top of it. Tam's ready to go. She's going to CR push him up the rest of the way, and we get to finish this baddie off. Brieg reapplying a defense break and a slow debuff. Slow debuff is what makes Brieg extra good for this. Another hit. And 1.5 million. This will take us to 1.6. Bang, bang. Brieg reapplies the defense break. That should get us up to 1.7 million, almost. Lilka pushing Fenris up, attack buff into a greater attack buff, into an S3, into a defense break, and bam, 1.8 million, just like that. Several turns left on the counter. So once again, your gear could be significantly lower, and you should still full clear, or at least get it so close to dead that somebody will come along and love tap it for you for the easy clear. Remember, you don't always have to full clear. You just hurt it really bad, leave a little sliver left, and people love seeing fights with just a little bit of damage left, and they will jump in and finish it for you. Now let's talk about the final fight, Destructive Gigantis. This time we're going to be running Fene in the bottom spot. Fene really helps pull this fight together. So again, the same brig we've always been running, but remember, for Destructive Gigantis, slower than 180 speed. As fast as you can get, that's slower than 180. That makes sure he goes after the Gigantis jumps, and that you'll see why when we get into the fight, why that's so important. That will help get the electrocution off of him. And because the Gigantis hits so hard, I strongly recommend Sword of Azera. If you don't have it, put some other mitigation art, maybe even Proof of Valor on him if you're having trouble keeping your brig alive. As much HP as you can get, a little bit of damage is a plus, but not super necessary. Next, we're going to be running the same Tamarin as before. For this fight on Tam, you're going to want 100 effect resistance. Not 200, only 100. The only unit in this fight that can debuff is the cannon, and the cannon rolls her skills back. You want to be immune to that, so you want to have 100 ER, 100% ER. I've got twice as much because I use this in other places, but 100 ER. As for effectiveness, you know, I guess her S1 can strip, which is nice. So if you want 85 on her, but that's really luxury. But the 100 ER, that's a must. Fast as you can build her. I like Magahar's Tome to help cycle her skills. Now we're going to run Commander Lorena. If you don't have Commander Lorena, I don't know, go ask Sue what to do if you don't have Commander Lorena. That's crazy. There are other DPSs you can run in her place. Landy, Luna. I've even seen top model Lulica work, crazy as that sounds, but Lorena is best in slot for this. I've got her on a rage set, that's optional. You can put her on a destruction set, attack set, whatever set you got to get her as much damage as you can get her. And for an artifact, run Strawberry Cake, run Card of Small Miracles, run Symbol of Unity, run Exorcist Tomfa, anything that gives good damage boost to her skills. I'm running this collaboration artifact because it's 0.4% more damage than the free ones that I have. And that's it. Just a gig of damage Lorena and Fene. I am running my Rift Fene. Any Fene will work. A destruction set Fene will work. An injury set Fene. Sure, that set's not going to do anything for you here, but Fene is just so good that any form of Fene will work. It doesn't have to be a nuclear damage one like this. You can run any Fene you want. I'm running my Rift one because she clears very fast if I do that. Victorious Flag is her best in slot for this kind of fight, but again, anything you want. If you don't have Fene, you could run Fire Shuri in this spot. There's several other sub DPSs that you could run to help clear this out quickly. Okay, this is how the fight goes. Again, everybody's skills are on. Now watch, because Brig is so slow, Gigantis goes first, electrocutes everybody. That lets Brig use his non-attack skill, and non-attack skills are what get rid of the electrocution, and that helps you stay alive so much better in this fight. Not being popped by electrocution constantly, having 2 of the units not on electrocution. Otherwise, you're wearing 3 electrocutions and you take extra damage. Tam does her S2, non-attack skill, electrocution's gone. So now we're only getting zapped by electrocution when 2 units take their turns, and we can survive that. That's a lot easier to live through. If you have 3 electrocutions, your Brig is probably going to take a dirt nap. Tam keeping everyone alive, a good strong hit from the Gigantis. Fene dropping some serious damage. There's a little bit of anti-synergy with all of the barrier spamming of Brig and Fene trying to injure herself, but it's okay. The extra damage she brings is plenty. Now we got a slow debuff on the Gigantis as well. That'll help us speed things along. That's going to let Lorena hit extra hard into the defense break. 60k damage. Tamarin is going to CR push up. Now we have got an attack buff on our Commander Lorena. Things are going to be even nastier. We got a dual attack from Commander Lorena. Very nice. Pow. You can see why you want to have really good tanky stats on that Brig. You see how low his health is? Tam's able to top him off here. Another good hit. And the barriers up should keep him alive from the next hit from the Gigantis. Now, every time this cannon goes, he is going to reset skills. It's okay if Lorena's skills get reset. We don't really care. It's okay if Fene's skills get reset. We don't really care. Even Brig's skills, we don't really care if that reduces our skills by 1 turn. But Tamarin is our healer. You don't want people to mess with your white mage. So make sure you have got enough effect resistance, and that number is 100. 100 effect resistance, and you'll notice Tam always says resisted. She never has her skills pushed back, so she is always able to transform and keep everyone on their feet. If you're having trouble with your team dying, double check your Tam. I bet your effect resistance might be too low, or your speed on her might be too low. You want to have a good amount of speed so she can cycle, and a good amount of effect resistance so the stupid cannon doesn't keep turning off her skills. We have just gotten to the halfway point of the phase, halfway point of the fight. The electrocutions are back on. We're taking some pretty serious damage now. Hopefully Tam's S2 is ready. Okay, thank goodness. Tam's S2 is ready. It's going to heal, top us off there. Another good strong hit from Fene. Fene brings so much extra damage to this. It really, really makes it clean. We're at 1.4 million, and we've just passed the halfway point. Okay, Brieg, get me another defense break and a slow debuff. Oh, we already got him. Man, cycling so fast. Good hit from Fene into an extra hit. Pow. One more hit and we should be good. Tam tops everyone off. Easy game. Easy game. Fene, finish him off for us. There you go, 1.9 million, plenty of extra turns left. Plenty of extra turns means you could be significantly lower gear on the damage side of things and still clear. Just make sure your Brieg can take a hit. Make sure your Tam can cycle her skills and not get reset, and you should be able to knock this one out of the park. Or at least do enough damage that someone else will come along and finish it off. Just like I said before, fights that look like this, people will want to come in and finish off. You jump into this fight, you get your Gigantis down to this point, someone will come along and love tap it. People love seeing this. It's quick and easy. They'll jump in and kill it for you. If your fights look like this, they won't be so inclined to jump in because they're worried it might not get done. So you want to be able to do a significant chunk of damage so other people can clean it for you. Hopefully this guide helps you guys out. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, Epic 7.